With regards to Better Nature, it's a great body of work, and tell us more about the idea of not playing it safe and not retreading with previous ground and being open to experimentation. How key was that notion with this record?
I think it's not something that you consciously think about. I think it happens naturally because as you sort of make a record and you tour on it, you put so much of what you're interested in and what your sonic sort of feelings are. Oh, it's right there, and then you tour on it for a while. And what I think ends up happening is you kind of get that out of your system, and you now need to have different ways of doing stuff, like different interests and things like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And this one just really, like we can't really be calculated because we wouldn't know how to do that. If you told us to do something, we'd fail at it miserably. So we just sort of go with our gut, and this one really, it just oozed out. It just came out, and it was almost so sort of simple because it was just showing up really easily.
How pleasing is it to have that type of band dynamic? You've mentioned you don't really have any goals or intentions before you start to go in, and things just seemingly fall into place.
I mean, I can't imagine what I mean, there's things that you're interested in and you want to hit, like there's things that you want to go for, clearly, but I can't imagine going in there with any kind of like plan. Like real, like, here we go. I mean, we do set things up in the beginning just to have a way to start, like a first step. Like, I think this thing's going to be kind of like a Wild West sort of thing, and it's going to have these sort of almost operatic, crazy, almost quantum mechanics sort of sounds and stuff, and then you just go from there. And then if it does do that, that's great. This one actually did do that. If it doesn't, then who cares what plan you had, because you gotta go with what's happening.
I mean, it was great because we worked with Jack Knifley again, and he loves being spontaneous, and I think we were at a point where we were so open to it, we were willing to try anything. So he brought in different instruments, and he bought a vibraphone, and we
that's exactly the vibraphone ends up getting on the record because it showed up that day. Like, he bought one, and then we said
we're like, let's try it.
This is perfect.
I think
for
it was
this
just
song.
nice, it's like we were just so open right at the point when we were recording that it was great to try new things.
And he took you out of your comfort zone, and you mentioned the vibraphone and different type of bass and acoustic bass. How refreshing an approach was that for you personally? I mean, to know that Jack Knifley challenged you in that way, and then opened up so many new possibilities for you. Yeah,
I mean, traditionally I like to think about what I'm doing. I like to write it down. I take many notes, and it's just like
twice.
When you
came after Neck of the Woods, which was our record before this one, we worked with Jack Knifley. This is their second time working with Jack Knifley. Nikki had these notes, and Jack and I just grabbed them and threw them on the ground. And so when we went back to record this record, she's like, this time I'm not going to do that. And there you were with your notes all of a sudden, and Jack and I grabbed those notes.
Well, I felt like he was being restrained in the beginning, and then he was just like so frustrated by it. He took them and threw them on the floor again.
I love that there was a second note smash.
Yeah.
With the record itself, Brian, I mean, you mentioned it was really pleasant that each song kind of stood on its own. Mm-hmm. Was it key to give each song an individual identity, so to speak?
Yes, I think that, we always, like the first half of recording, you're almost building up your, like the vocabulary of it, like we wanted to explore all these different places, and we want each song to stand on its own and sound different and add something to the record and not repeat. And while they do that, we wanted it to be cohesive. So once you get all your sort of sounds, then you use them all for all of the record. Because we're not interested in having 300 different guitar sounds. It's like there's a great fuzz and there's this and that. And as soon as we find it, we'll use it.
With the record, I mean, there's themes of loss. There's themes of being happy with life and how lovely it can be, and the reflection. I mean, was it a key component for you to kind of have lyrics that were present and human?
Yeah, it was, because the last record was such a nostalgic trip for me personally. It was really about the past. Everything about it was about the past, including the way things were sort of just the way we recorded things, and this one I got it all out, and years go by, and now it's it's just the word. I don't know. I feel so present.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the present tense seems huge, and I think as you get older, and you've been doing it for quite a long time, like you really feel the exiting of all the youthful angst.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That transition is gone, because the stuff that's in your field of vision now is profound stuff that never really would have occurred to you then. You know, I mean,
mm-hmm.
big stuff happened to us when we were young, but as you get older, it's just like, wow. It's hard not to notice it, you know, and then you look back at yourself and go, what a silly guy. Why was I so mad? Did I really get into a fight with a guy over Radiohead?
I wanted to talk to you about a song that was in the singles collection, Cannibal. I mean, it's so well arranged, and the tempo and the arrangements of it, the pace, it's so well layered. I mean, you stated it's a song that really stands on its own well, hence why it was in the singles collection.
Yeah.
Was that song like sort of shifting and signalling a change in transition for you guys?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was very fun. Well, the singles collection was sort of like, it's something that usually happens when, you know, you're leaving a label or something like that. They're gonna put this thing out, and you gotta have to go with it. But
we were excited.
We kind of like, instead of just going, we decided that make it kind of fun, and we recorded Cannibal and this other song called Let It Decay. Wasn't it called Let It Decay? Yeah.
Did you change the name of it?
Did I change the name of it? I have demoitis. That we released for a record store day thing, but
that's always been one of my favorite songs since it was one of the first songs.
Yeah, we had for a while.
Yeah, we had never recorded it.
But it was fun to go and record Cannibal. Like, we had this song, we wrote it just for that, and we've never done that before. We haven't done that in years. Like, I think the last time we just wrote a song was probably in the early days when we were just playing clubs and for like years and years and years, and you just have another song. Like, hey, we got another one.
Looking back, I mean, I understand you were a keen Dolphins and Lakers fan growing up. I mean, has it been...
Joe and Christopher are the big...
They
just walked over and bought... They just like walked over.
Actually, they're big Arsenal.
Bought a ton of Arsenal stuff down the road.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, do you still keep up with the Dolphins and Lakers? I understand it's probably been a depressing few years with the progression by the...
Oh, yeah.
Are you a Lakers fan?
I am a Lakers fan, but yeah, I mean, and I love the Dolphins. I have a soft spot for them.
Do you?
I have a soft spot for the Dolphins.
I never knew that, Lauren.
Yeah.
Now I know what to finally get you for the
holidays.
I
have a dolphin pillow, and actually
Dolphins, everything Dolphins.
You mentioned that if you weren't doing this, you'd be working in a museum. What resonates with you? What resonates with you most about yourself and possibly being in a museum working?
I just think that they can be closely related, and I get inspiration from seeing visual art.
We love
and I always love it when artists talk about how music has influenced their art. And who was it? Oh, Paul Klee. He had a great quote. He said a drawing is a line going for a walk. And I always thought I always thought it was like, well, to me, I'm like, well, a bass line could be like, a song could be a bass line going for a walk, or a guitar line, you know, it's just like, and it's just I don't know, I went to the Tate Modern today, I get inspiration.
We travel a lot, like we do. Museums are just this lovely way to get sort of involved in the city, and also like this, like almost like a cemetery, like quiet. I don't know. The Tate Modern is one of our favorite places in the world, and we used to go there. I didn't today, but usually when we would come to the UK to play shows, to get over jet lag, we'd just go right over there and sit in the Rothko room for about a half an hour and just kind of like suck it in. But I want to go see so many museums, but we only have like a day.
You've touched on Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Oh!
I mean, tell us about your
high art. We're still on the high art. High art.
Your verdict on this. It seems like you really enjoyed it. I mean,
dude, I don't know what people. I've heard nitpicking about it, and I just go, I don't even know what you want.
Good. I watched it with Brian in Toronto. We were doing.
I accidentally saw it 4 times. I did. I didn't mean to. It meant twice, because the first time I saw it, I was so in shock. Not like The Phantom Menace, where I was in shock that this is the biggest piece of shit, and I was trying to like see Star Wars in it. But I was in shock because it was a Star Wars movie. And I was like, wait a minute. Chewbacca and Han Solo are like having...
They have such chemistry.
Holy.
Still.
I think that's Han Solo's best movie, man.
Yeah.
Really
I was so surprised how good that movie was.
It really was an amazing film.
It was so good. And you could feel the audience, like the fourth time I saw it was with my brother, with you, in Toronto. And even then, like, this is now people have seen it a million times, and even this little audience now, you can see the movie like just working them, like it hits them, it really smashes into them. Everybody really, really gets it, gets behind it, and loves it.
What matters most with your progression from here on in? You know, what do you hope? What do you relish to explore, and what matters most?
What matters most has always mattered most to us, and it kind of is the only real thing, is that if whatever end happens, that we walk away from it knowing that we really went for it and didn't phone anything in. Like, our biggest fear really with albums is that we know that we just kind of, just didn't do it really. Like, that would make us really upset.
At that point, that's when we shouldn't be doing it.
We shouldn't be doing it,
So.
absolutely. So far that hasn't happened, but really, that's our only goal for now. It is.
Yeah.
We always go, oh yeah. This album is funny because normally after a record, we go, oh God, we listen to it so much and we hate it. We're so critical of it. I'm like, oh, whatever. We did what we did. I mean, we're proud of it. And we know that we're proud of it, but we're still like, this record, we all were worried because we liked it.